our firm does a lot of lending work. Our firm's done a lot of creditors' rights and bankruptcy work and foreclosures. Right. And so we've been involved in the transaction side, but also the enforcement side. I think that we've seen certainly a drop in the volume of the loan deals that we're closing and some level of increase in terms of the foreclosure work, but maybe not the huge volume that may be coming at some point here.
Yeah, no, that's what people probably expect to happen, to see that uptick in 2024. But we'll see. The banks normally don't like to own real estate, but in this situation, it may be inevitable because if the values continue to drop and the rates stay high, we'll see. But maybe the borrowers don't want to put in any more equity. That's really going to be the story. The office market, it's probably going to take a few years to recover. That's probably conservative.
So do you have any closing advice for your tenant clients to think about as they're considering deals moving forward, or if they have to move forward within the next 6 months or so?
Well, I would say to ask the tough questions about your landlord's status of their loans, when is it due, and if you're a market-sized deal with a generous concession package, focus on protecting that tenant improvement allowance. I mean, the free rent you're pretty safe on, obviously, but the tenant improvement allowance really is the issue. How do you make sure that large sum is not at risk? As for the landlords are in a tough spot. Clearly, they need to work with their bank to get approval for these leases, and they need to work with their bank if their loan is coming due.
I guess the other PS, and this is from folks that we've both have talked to and heard from, is a lot of these deals are falling apart. And that you have to build in enough of a time frame. It's not like when we were looking for space, that if you found a couple of spots that you liked and you picked one, you could have a relative certainty that if you got to deal terms that deal would happen. Instead, what we're seeing is a lot of deals completely crater. You had one recently where you had a tenant that was going to extend and the lender ended up scotching the deal, right?
Yeah, I was working on about a 40,000 square foot deal downtown DC. And typical allowance package killed the deal because the lender didn't want to front that money. So that's happening all over the place. And even taking outside the issue with the lending issues, tenants take a long time to decide how much square foot they need now. They really need to talk to their employees, consider the future of working remotely. How much square foot do they need per each employee? There is a limit to how efficient you can get, but that's a big question. And tenants do want to get more efficient, and sometimes they try to get really efficient, but then they ended up taking less space, but not quite as little space as they hoped.
So everything's a little harder, a little more complicated, and certainly takes a lot more time to figure out now than it did.
Right. But again, the good news is that we are in Northern Virginia. If there's any market in the country to be in, they're all challenged, but I think this one probably has more protection than others, given that the government is right here and given the activity in this metropolitan area.
Yeah, $6 trillion of government spending will solve some problems.
Yeah, it's a great workforce here, very educated. It's still growing, but we can't sugarcoat it. There are challenges here and challenges coming.